All right, Nomad Bike Rider here. We're gonna do a special video today since the bike ride didn't go very well. I thought, well, today's a wash for video. However, I stopped at Soren's Valhalla Orchards for cherries and met Toni and Ely.
Hey, yeah, we're here in the orchard, so this guy pulls in and he wants some cherries and he wants me to pick them for him. What the heck? We did have some picked cherries for him. So we're out here in, this is actually our tart cherry orchard. So we're in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, and if anybody knows anything about Door County, they know that cherry season is why people come here.
But
and
we
a
are
lot of other reasons.
closed. We are closed after tomorrow, so you can't really
Yeah, so
come.
we're in the final days.
Yeah, so I got lucky, didn't I?
Yeah, you did get lucky.
Yeah.
So we grow primarily U.S. Montmorency tart cherries, which are great for bike riders because they have a lot of antioxidants and they're great for your joints. So don't forget it.
Oh, I got to get some of those. How about the ones that I bought, the sweet ones?
The sweet cherries, they are also good for you, but they have higher sugar content naturally, so they're more like, they're like natural candy. So,
Right.
Yeah.
How about for the joints though? Because
everything, basically, most fruits are high in antioxidants, so they're good for your joints. So eat those and you'll be able to bike ride miles tomorrow. So yeah, we're at the final stages of our pick your own crop here, but that means that we're gonna fire up our mechanical shakers and we will start harvesting these on Monday to send to the cherry plant to get pitted and packed and out into the products that you guys find on the shelves at the grocery stores. So look for the U.S. Montmorency label so that you're buying U.S. products.
All right. So what I always want to know about people that intrigue me like you two do, and we're going to get to you, dude, and the ice fishing. Can't wait to hear about that. But how long have you been involved in this?
So my husband and I started growing cherries in 2008 on our own. Prior to that, he had an opportunity to work for some friends of ours that have an orchard. Our friend was ill and he needed someone to run his orchard. So my husband quit his job and took care of his orchards for him while he was going through some treatments. So he worked for them for about 2 years and our friend luckily got better and he's in remission and he's still a cherry farmer today. But Terry decided that he enjoyed it so much he really wanted to do it on his own. So we looked for some opportunities with some other growers that we know and started leasing an orchard. And 2008 was the first year that there was no cherry crop anywhere in the United States. So we had...
Why was that?
Based on the weather. So it's all really weather dependent.
Gotcha.
So we didn't have a good pollination. So there weren't a lot of blossoms. There was not good pollination, so there was no fruit to harvest. So that was a wash. Luckily, we had other jobs. But at that point in time, we had some opportunities to start planting new orchards and take on a couple other leases. So a lot of the orchards that we have, we don't actually own. Just like people rent ground to grow corn on, we enter in contract leases with people who own ground, and they're just really long term.
Is that what this is here?
This one we own.
Oh,
so
good for you.
This one, we bought this property and we planted all of these trees ourselves.
70 acres, right?
There's 70 acres total here.
Right here, yeah.
And well, there's 80 acres of land, 70 of it is in cherries.
No
10
kidding.
of those acres are in sweet cherries, and then the rest is in tarts. And then we've got some other additional acres. So we've just been planting every couple of years, and the life of a cherry tree is about 30 years. So my hope is that if any of the kids want to take this over, I won't have to plant any more of my own trees, but maybe I could like make food for the crew when they're planting trees.
No kidding.
20 years from now.
So what do you get out of this personally? Like how does this make you feel to be a cherry farmer, to own land and produce amazing food? Like, I mean, because I've had some of these cherries and they're pretty dang good.
Yeah, I think the best part for me is doing the pick your own part of it, so that people like you and people come from all over to pick cherries, just meeting the people. So anybody can learn how to grow things, which we like that, and I think we do pretty good at it. My husband and I are both like educated in agronomy. That's what we went to college for.
Okay.
So we really enjoy growing crops. That's what we just take a lot of pride in doing a good job at that. However, I especially love the relationships that we've built with people that come here, and it's also just so cool to see something that multiple generations do together. And it's not just people from the state of Wisconsin, it's people from all over the world. So just earlier today, I met people who live in Milwaukee now, but they're from Bulgaria. We're the same age, our kids are the same age. So we created a friendship, exchanged contact information.
I'll bet, yeah.
And we'll probably stay in touch together.
Well, that's not very far away.
Right,
yeah.
Right, but she was intrigued by my name and I was intrigued by her name because my real name is not like a common name you hear in the U.S., even though I was born and raised
All right,
here.
tell us about the origin of Soren's Valhalla orchards.
Okay, so that's my husband's last name, and our last name is Sorensen, so Soren being the root of that. Soren's Valhalla. Valhalla is like the, you know, Norse version of heaven or paradise, and then orchards, obviously. But when we were trying to come up with a name, he really wanted to be true to his roots. So like our farm logo is a Viking ship. So, and then we've got, you know, we represent whatever fruit we're doing with the Viking ship.
Okay.
So he's a Sorensen, proud Norwegian man. And Valhalla, I was like, well, geez, planting all these trees is kind of like being in hell.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
It's a lot of work, so we plant them all by hand.
What?
So that, you know, that's what got me through it. I was like, okay, well, someday this will be like paradise. And now I will tell you the most peaceful place to be is in our orchard.
It's in the
And
orchard, yeah.
I kind of have OCD, so like everything is in really straight lines and everything is really organized out here. So I have a major appreciation for that.
Well, I think I sort of got the answer to one of the questions that I would normally ask, is that, you know, what opened you up to meeting a stranger like me, and 10 minutes later we're doing a video together.
Yeah,
you know?
I just love meeting people and hearing their stories.
You have a beautiful spirit. You're a wonderful lady. And so, how many kids do you have?
We have three.
You have
kids, three boys. So, and Eli is our middle son, and he, I would say, is a true old soul. He spends the most time with us farming.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's really learning the craft. He's learning all the crafts of living in Northeast Wisconsin, though.
All right.
Not just farming, but he enjoys a lot of other activities around here. So Eli's 8 years old.
Well, Eli, so what were the 2 rules that I have for me? It's safe to what?
I don't know.
Safe to be honest. Remember that. And if I ask you a question and you don't have an answer, what are you allowed to say? Or what is the rule? I'll get.
Do you remember?
I'll get back to you. Remember? So, you were telling me about your passion. What's your passion? You love to what?
Fish.
You love fishing. Why do you like fishing so much, or why do you think you like it so much?
I don't know, cause like I like eating fish, and it's just something fun to do. Cause I like being like out on the water, and.
Yeah. What's the water do in the wintertime on these lakes?
Please.
And so how do you go fishing then?
We ice fish, so we go out on the ice and we drill holes in the ice so we can fish out of the holes.
No kidding. Wow, what's that like? Do you really enjoy doing that?
Mm-hmm. Unless it's really cold.
Well, dude, how could it not be cold like no matter what, right? It's ice. You're crazy. You're a tough guy, aren't you?
I don't know.
You'll get back to me.
There you go.
So, what else do you enjoy doing? So your mom said you love the farming. Do you really like farming out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite part? If you can think of it.
I'll get back to you.
You'll get back to me. Good job. Hey. Hey, Eli, come here. That deserves a fist bump. That was good. Well, anyway, you want to show us a tree and
Sure.
teach us a little bit about the cherry?
Yeah.
They're not like store cherries, are they?
No.
I mean, because look at, they're glimmering and they're beautiful.
Yeah,
they're amazing.
Tart cherries are a really beautiful fruit. And the thing about tart cherries is a lot of people refer to them as sour cherries, and then us cherry growers get super offended because we're like, no, they're not sour, they're tart.
They're tart.
They're tart. They're supposed to be tart. And if you're not going from eating sweet cherries to tart cherries, you're just eating tart cherries, they actually taste pretty darn good. So.
That is good.
Yeah, and you know, for like
wow.
fun pastime around here, you can just have a pit spitting contest, or like, we find things to do. So, but this crop is a really pretty crop, and it's kind of interesting because people are like, well, how do you get them to all fall off the tree at the same time? Like when we come through and mechanically shake. So we actually have to put ethyl. We spray ethyl onto the trees, and that would be just like what they use to ripen bananas. You know, they put bananas in a ripening room at a grocery store or wherever.
Yes.
So they all ripen up at the same time. So in order to get this crop to drop, so when we come through, we apply pressure to the trunk and we shake it really fast. And and it's not always this exact same consistency as ripeness. So we put the ethereal on the trees and then we wait 7 days.
Okay.
Then we come through.
Kind of evens it out.
The crop. Yep. And then it'll actually release from the stems. Otherwise, the stems are going to pull.
Oh, you want that stem on there, don't you?
Well, we want
it's better.
We want it to release from the stem. We don't want too many stems.
Oh, you don't?
No. So when we harvest it and we bring it to the plant, we want it to look like
because the ones you get in the bag at the store all have the stems on them.
Those are sweet cherries.
Those are, your sweet cherries have the stems on them too.
Well, it depends. If you pick them yourself, you can pick with or without the stems.
Okay.
So it's way faster to pick without the stems.
Got it.
But yeah, like the market is used to stemmed on product. So what they do with these is we haul them to the plant in like a big vat of cold water. Okay, so we have big stainless steel tanks. Everything has like a what are they called? RFD codes on the side of them.
Yep.
Because obviously food has to be like sourced. So they have to know where every cherry came from. So like we have to be able to say, yep, identify this block of cherries. So they know where the food came from. It goes to the plant and it gets graded. And that's actually how they set the price of our cherries. So if you look at what I have in my hand here, you can see like we just had a storm come through. So like that one has a bruise on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that discoloration.
I do, yeah. I think the camera got that. And that's from the storm.
Yep. So what happens when there's a lot of wind or hail, fruit gets banged together, and you're going to see that. So when we send it in the tanks of water, it's in cold water, and then they've got a big like cooling pad area where it can sit for a while. Because when we shake it off the tree, it could also get damaged. So we want to make sure we process it quickly so that it's damage is limited. So they're going to look at this and they're going to score it, and they're going to say, okay, well, based on how your fruit looks, here's your score. So maybe this block of cherries will score out at like 95%, and then the price of cherries is X, but you brought in a score of 95, so you're going to get paid 95% of that.
No kidding.
Yeah. So every different block of the orchard that we're kind of like the area in the orchard, we call it a block. So every orchard block that we harvest might have a different score based on like what the weather was like in that area, what the slope of the land is, how windy it got there, all of those factors can come into play. But then they're going to run this through like cold water, firm up the fruit, and then they run it through a pitter. So that's a whole bunch of little needles going through to poke the pits out. So so that happens at the processing plant.
You guys don't do any of that. So you're off the hook by that point.
Yes. So we ship the product there. They score it for us. They let us know how we grade it out, and then they take it from there. So there's a processing plant in Egg Harbor, Wisconsin, that processes, I'm going to say 95% of the fruit that is grown in Wisconsin, or the tart cherries that are grown in Wisconsin probably get processed through that plant. And then they get put in big packaging, like big bulk containers. And then it either gets put into cold storage or shipped off to basically other markets like dryers, or some of the cherries get juiced at that point in time.
How much of the cherry crop in the United States gets grown in Wisconsin, do you think? Do you know?
It's actually, I don't know the exact numbers. I could get back to you on that.
Okay.
But it's a smaller percentage. So there's like, Michigan is the biggest cherry growing state in the United States. So Michigan, New York, Washington, Utah, Oregon, and Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
So I think we harvest somewhere between, on average, I'm guessing like 10 to 12 million pounds of the crop, like the total crop comes out of Wisconsin, but we're one of the smaller out of the top 5.
Gotcha.
So just because of where we can can only grow cherries on the thumb of Door County based on where the water is, because it's so susceptible to weather. That's why Michigan, all these states that grow it are around water, because it makes the temperatures more mild.
Well, certainly these lakes are like, they're great refrigeration, aren't they?
Yeah, so we have cooler temps throughout the summer, but warmer temps in the winter because of that, oftentimes, than where you would be like more inland in these regions. You can see we paint the trunks of the trees white.
And I used to know what that was for, but...
Okay, so that is just to reflect the sunlight in the spring so that the tree doesn't heat up too quickly. Oh. Because the tree is a vascular system, just like we have a vascular system. Our blood flows throughout our body. The tree is pushing xylem and phloem up and down, right? And when it's waking up, coming out of dormancy, that starts to move, and if it moves too quickly, it will explode, kill your tree. So cherry trees have a really thin skin or a thin bark system. So we put the white, we paint them white to just try to reflect the sunlight off of that.
Do you repaint that on occasion?
Every couple of years.
Every couple of years,
you know how we do it?
No.
2 parts paint, 1 part water, and a car wash glove.
No, there's a lot of hand labor here, isn't there?
Yeah. I always say it's a labor of love.
It is.
Or we're nuts. We might just be nuts. I don't know.
Well,
so
is it safe to say though, based on your, I mean, you're really a really special lady. I mean, and I mean, I want to just tell you, based on the fact that you just are so welcoming, and all this passion that you just exuded for your cherries and the orchard and everything, you really love this, don't you?
I do. I love it.
You really love
being
this.
Out here, I enjoy working side by side with my family. Almost everybody who works on in this orchard, we have, you know, a bunch of I guess like grade school kids that work for us, that are all like neighborhood kids that do a great job. They work really hard, and neighbors and friends and relatives. So I'm so fortunate, like my aunts and uncles come, they live all over the place, and they just come together during cherry season and help us out here. It's kind of like turned into a family reunion.
Unbelievable.
Even though none of them lived here, neither did I as a kid. So they all come to Door County.
Who's the crazy guy in the cherry shirt?
That's my Uncle Kim. He's actually a retired radiologist. So if you want to know what people do when they retire, they find crazy jobs to do. So he's like a people person.
He is.
He really, and he's the guy who, like, somebody asks a question and then he'll say, well, I researched that last night and here's the answer. So now we know the answer to this question. So, which is great, because when I get home, I'm too tired. I like update our Facebook page. I'm the webmaster, even though I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What? Give us some plugs for your orchard or your Facebook, whatever you want to plug.
Oh, so we're on Facebook. We're Sorensen's. I gotta remember what order it is. Soren's Valhalla Orchards / Sorensen's Strawberry Farm.
That's on Facebook. And I'll write all this down and I'll post it in the links.
Website is sorensvahallaorchards.com.
Okay.
Yep, and then I just started Instagram because I went to a seminar and they said you should be on Instagram. So now I'm on Instagram and I kind of know what I'm doing. But this is all stuff that, you know, it's like I kind of knew how to do it, but I'm like, hey, I got out my game here. I got to make it easy to find us.
Yes.
So I try to, you know, like learn how to do that stuff when I can.
Well, I would expect that you'll have a YouTube channel by going into the next growing season. Maybe you can start and just take people all the way through it. I mean, that
would be cool.
You're an amazing. You present beautifully. You're a great spirit. You're a lovely.
Maybe I'll have to like consult you. You can be my YouTube spiritual guide.
I don't know about that. I don't. You know, I'm new at it too. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, this is what makes my life on the road so beautiful, is meeting people like you.
Awesome.
And now because of YouTube, I get to document it and share it with my 20 adoring fans. And
maybe we'll up your
well, you will. You will, because your friends will want to see you, and then they'll say, who's this crazy guy, the nomad bike rider? And if they follow, great. If not, no harm, no foul. You know, I mean, we're busy folks, so sitting around watching YouTube all day isn't for everybody.
I'm probably not going to bike much farther than the area I live with, so now I can watch your channel
and
bike the world.
Well, at least a few states here and there.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, well, Eli, any parting shots for your adoring fans? You are the man of the hour.
How many days have you been picking cherries?
2 weeks.
I think this is day 13 for him. So as an 8-year-old holding like a 12-hour a day job, I think he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
He's out of words, dude. I think.
Thanks for being my buddy today. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Well, we had a lot of fun today. It turned out to be a good one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little interview with Toni and Eli and being at the cherry orchard. I got to tell you, I'm really, really grateful for this day. I'm here at this is Green Bay, right outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin. I've got an amazing place to stay. As I alluded to when I first started the interview with Toni, that went on a bike ride, but it just didn't turn out very well. So in lieu of that video, we got this one. And I'm so grateful that I just hung in there for the day, because I wasn't feeling any good. It just wasn't, things weren't clicking, so instead of getting down on my cups, I just kind of put one foot in front of the other and kept on going. And look at these amazing cherries. I mean, they don't even look like store-bought. They're just so they're just amazing. I'm really looking forward to eating these things, and I'm looking forward to more experiences like the one we had with Toni, and more places like this, you know. And before I go, I think I'll let you know that I think this is one of my last nights along the Great Lakes in general. I'm going to be heading towards Oshkosh now, and after, gosh, 4 weeks of being on Great Lakes, Lake Superior mostly, but I did Lake Erie for a while, and that was a while back. But man, what an amazing group of lakes! What the things that I've learned about nature, about our country's history, and the people that we've met along the way has been a real joy. You know, so we're just going to keep putting one foot in front of the other, one pedal turning over the other, see what's down the road. I always say it, can't wait to find out what's next, and I know that by now you trust that we're going to see something neat. So really hope you enjoyed Toni and her son and the cherry orchard. I'm really grateful to them, and I thank them a lot for sharing their passion for the farming with us. And I wish them all the best. Their product is amazing. It's grown with so much love, and they're wonderful people, and that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.